In my last video, I discussed with you about Anglo-Saxon literature. Here in this video, we are going to discuss Anglo-Normans period and their literature. King Edward was the last king of Anglo-Saxons. He had no child. Before his death, he gave a will that William the Conqueror, who was his second cousin, will become the next king after him. But what happened afterwards was completely a different situation. England was divided into various districts, and all those districts were controlled by a very powerful man, Godwinson. After Godwinson, his son Harold Godwinson controlled England. William the Conqueror, the second cousin of King Edward, he brought with himself army from Normandy, and he planned to fight with the Godwinson at the area known as Hastings. So the fight took place at the place known as Hastings in England, where Harold Godwinson got defeated by William the Conqueror. After conquering England, William the Conqueror brought with himself French culture because they came from France. They brought with themselves French language and French culture. Normans were firstly uncivilized people, but when they attacked France, they became civilized and they became well mannered persons. From the very beginning, France was the hub of culture and literature. So, the official language of England in Anglo Norman period became Anglo French. The aristocratic class of people spoke French language, while the lower middle class people spoke Middle English. Old English language words were combined with the French language, and a completely new language evolved known as Middle English. Still, in present time, we use some of the French and Latin words. For example, a word cache, CACHE. We sometimes use this word and its meaning is the collection of items in hidden place. Another word we use critique, which means a detailed analysis. These are the two examples of French words. Another we use the castle, CASTLE, we call it mahal in Urdu, is derived from the Latin word. Ad hoc we use mostly when needed. It means when needed. It's also a Latin word. Bona fide, which means genuine, is also a Latin word. So we use various Latin and French words today in our in English language. We have in English language today some of the words of French and Latin language of their because of their influence. Because they lived in England for a certain period of time. For example, Romans lived in England for 400 years. French lived during the Anglo-Norman period. So these were the two influences. Another important point we must discuss here is that the French people brought with themselves educated people, scholars, artists, and chroniclers. Chroniclers are the persons who write history in a chronological order. So the education institutes were established first time. Secondly, there were the crusades between the eastern and western parts of the world. And Christians leader known as Pope, he assigned Christians to spread Christianity throughout the world. From 1095 to 1291, crusades continually were fought. Wherever the Christians went, they brought with themselves the Bible manuscripts, so the people became educated. The third reason was the teachings of the John Wycliffe, who was England's scholar and a philosopher. He translated Bible from Latin to Middle English. So the common man had the access to actual teachings of the Bible. So this thing must be remembered here that in Anglo-Norman period, the Roman Catholic Church, which was the highest authority, was very corrupt. Whosoever committed any crime, they went to church for confession. His sins were removed after paying some amount of money. When common people read the manuscript of translated Bible, they became aware about their rights and about the do's and don'ts. So the church authorities were highly infuriated at this act of John Wycliffe. Now the people were getting educated throughout different sources. So the first university of England, the Oxford University, which was at that time in form of a college, that was established in 1096. England now became the center of knowledge and education. Now we will discuss the literature of Anglo-Norman period. Norman people along with themselves brought educated people, scholars, and they also brought with themselves minstrels. Minstrels are the people who sing songs orally while traveling. The theme of those songs is the stories about the distant places, about the past time. Their songs also accompany dance. Another literary style which was named as romance. Here romance doesn't mean the love story between a male and female, but romance in olden days was considered a tale about the heroic deeds of a warrior. These stories about the knights, Knights, knights who used to fight. Basically, the literary style was borrowed from French and Latin. These romances include the stories about King Arthur, the War of Troy, Alexander the Great. These three themes were major themes of romances. The plays which were written in Anglo-Norman period were of two major kinds. Firstly, the miracle plays, also known as mystery plays. Secondly, the morality plays. The miracle plays or the mystery plays theme was mostly religious one. The morality plays tells us about the difference between the vice and virtue. Now we will talk about two significant poets of Anglo-Norman period. The first one is William Langland. You might have heard the name of this poet. He was contemporary of Geoffrey Chaucer, one of the significant poet of the age of Chaucer. We will later, after this video, we will study about Geoffrey Chaucer. His important work is the Vision of the Piers the Plowman. This work is very important. This poem is a lengthy poem, and it is shown here in this poem that a prophet who denounces the sins prevailing in the society. So it is a kind of a morality poem. Another important poet is John Gower, who was a friend of Geoffrey Chaucer. He was born in 1330 and he died in 1408. He wrote poetry in French, Latin and in English language. His most important work is Confessio Amantis, which means lover's confession. This poem is very lengthy. It has 33,000 lines. So this poem is a satirical narrative. So satire is a literary technique which means to criticize the individual or the problems of society. So friends, this was the lecture about the Anglo-Norman period. Hope you like my video.